Beauty has no one definition. For men particularly, to accept that they can be beautiful, not just handsome, not just, rugged or rough or strong. You can be beautiful, we are beautiful. Being a big guy or having facial hair, it's just hair, like it just grows. There's no reflection of the person you are based on your facial hair. I want people in different ways to see men being depicted in ways that they're not used to seeing them. For a lot of my life, feelings were terrible. Feelings were scary. I didn't deal with them. I had gone through a separation. I describe myself as having been dead inside. And the world around me might as well not have existed. I literally just kind of head down and took one step at a time to where I needed to go. Didn't look up, didn't look around. And like I was a passenger in my own life, really. My ex and my kids moved to Newfoundland. And I saw my kids about every 4 months or so on average. It was terrible because a piece of my heart was ripped out.
There's another face.
No, you know what it is? When you get very close, it's like... So in 2016, I left my job in Saskatchewan and drove to Newfoundland. I had no network, and so I literally started by meeting a person at a time. It was sort of a perfect storm of, I didn't know anyone. Like, what's some fun and creative ways I can find of connecting or meeting new people?
No, that was my mom.
How's it going?
Oh, we did it.
Hey, pals. The name, like a Beard and Mustache Club, is pretty funny sounding, and it just sounds like a bunch of guys, like, stroking their beards or twisting their mustaches, and that's it. But the vision of this club here was, yes, at its core was like a social club, but it was an intentional one, and the purpose was to do some good in the community. The first MerB'ys Calendar came about from a dare. A friend of mine said, Hasan, you should do a thing. I'm like, all right, I can do a thing. So I kind of shared that photo. I said, hey, here in St. John's, who's interested in joining me for maybe a fun photo shoot? We'll poke holes at traditional, masculine stereotypes, and maybe we'll raise money for charity. And there's a ton of answers from like hundreds of responses. So there's enough interest. I'm like, well, let's do this thing. And then a month after that, we're selling thousands and thousands of calendars.
The team from the Beard and Mustache Club are back, shooting as many MerB'ys as they can. Calendars featuring burly men in playful poses captured people's imaginations and raised $300,000.
People saw a really playful and a different side of masculinity, which they're not used to seeing in particularly big, burly fellows.
Tell me who you are.
We are the MerB'ys. The whole purpose was to raise money for a charity of some sort, for some good cause.
Whatever social media you're on, it's blowing up right now.
It's gone nuts. Like around the world, we have orders from about 10 or 11 countries. People are losing their minds over this. Fairly recently was compared to Osama bin Laden, and here to bring Sharia law to Newfoundland and Labrador, there's a fair number of people, particularly from smaller communities, have not really encountered anyone from a different background. And like, they're good people, but they just don't have the lived experience to really understand what others deal with. What I wanted of this calendar is that all 12 months, every one of those photos is going to tell a very specific story.
This year, we went that extra level and did interviews with everybody. It's about just showing people as people, and if they identify as male, that's awesome. Put on a tail, like, now you're a MerB'y. That's really all that it really takes.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, anything that might be important to let us know more about you.
I'm working away 6 months out of the year because I'm a crane operator. And when I'm home, I'm busy with the kids, so... I'm originally, where I'm from, Labrador. I'm a day at home all the time and love the outdoors, love fishing, hunting, everything.
How did they manage to get all of this money just for acting like fools, basically? It's like, I can totally do that.
I like showing off. I'm a bit photogenic. So when asked to ignore the camera crew, I'm trying really, really hard.
So my main gig is that I'm a drag queen. I I go by the name Irma Gerd, and I do shows, perform, host things, nightclub things, wedding things, whatever, children's birthday parties, funerals, whatever.
I have a very small comfort zone. Like, I'm a high-functioning autistic, so very rigid, narrow comfort zone, which has kind of been forced open in the last couple years, probably 2 or so. And I'm trying to wedge that open as much more as possible.
I would say as far as wedging open comfort zone, this is like taking a truck.
Oh, yeah, there's
Oh, that's what we're beyond wedging. So good on you.
It's a little, I don't know, freeing maybe. I've always been kind of self-conscious about my body. You know, I'm not like fit dude that you might think is under this facade.
Like I said, I'm kind of a loner. It's difficult for me to come out and make friends with people, so.
I don't know, I've felt shunned a lot of my life. I felt like not included. We're all in the same society, just not all of us are made to feel like we all belong.
I'm a dad, I'm a husband, 36, I'm a retired RCMP officer. I live with bipolar disorder, and I have depression and PTSD as well from my policing service. I currently don't work. I'm off on disability right now. I just think everything that the MerB'ys stand for is something that I want to stand with.
We narrowed it down to, I think it was like 20-something models. And then we, looked at their availability, paired them up, and then got everyone together then to meet with their photographers, to meet with their tail makers, and then to kind of get an overall theme of what their month was going to be.
The purpose of today's town hall meeting is first just to be able to put faces to names.
Over the next couple of weeks is when things start to get kind of crazy. Because as you can tell, we're still trying to iron out a few details.
But at the end of the day, we're gonna have fun. You're gonna be laughing. These are memories that you're gonna take with you going forward.
Be as silly as you can in front of a mirror, and it'll just be fun for
That's
everyone.
a lot of core strength. I'm just gonna put that out.
A lot of people wanted me to apply, and I wanted to apply too, but I was nervous about just, like anything, I guess, just being rejected or it not working out. But I didn't tell anybody I applied. My wife Melanie always says, I wish you could see yourself how I see you. Give me the biggest hug you got.
Oh, that's a good
I struggle with my mental health. I struggle with my identity. As a police officer, you're trained to mask your emotions. For years, you would say, I'm fine. But behind the silhouette, it's, they're screaming for help. I ran from my problems for a long time. It was almost like I was going through a storm, and then the sunshine through the storm was the MerB'ys application.
So let's start shooting here, because you said there's a flight coming in. Okay, just give me big kissy lips, yes. Theme for September was inspired by the generosity of Newfoundlanders during the crisis of 9/11.
John, being an RCMP officer and a first responder, is like a perfect match, really.
But yeah, just big smiles, keep doing what you're doing. It's like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in so long. Oh my God, yes. There you go, that's the face. There it is. I think it's really important that people who are struggling with mental health in their lives be put into situations where perhaps they are not that comfortable. And at the end of the day, you're gonna look back on this and say, hey, I did that. Look at what I did.
I want there to be some message that's there so that different people in different ways can draw some meaning, and it connects with people in different ways. And maybe not everyone finds meaning in every one of the stories, but there will be a story to tell. and people coming from all kinds of backgrounds, and people who hid their identities, who were too ashamed or too afraid to be themselves, who kind of bucked the trends and the stereotypes and gender norms of what's expected of men.
Isn't it though?
Put a little bit in so then the glitter will have something to stick to, and then we'll throw glitter in your face. Yeah.
All right.
You're good. All right.
I haven't had my shirt off in public in front of anybody since I was 12 years old.
There you go.
So I got a certain way I have to do this because I can't physically reach. I was the only person that grew up in the community that I'm from with a physical disability. So everybody always left me out. Nobody included me in nothing. Yay, oh my God.
Now you can even off that tan.
Right?
Yeah.
Where, you got your sunglasses on? I grew up an only child. My father was abusive, and he always said that he would be better off if I wasn't born. I spent my entire life in servitude to my addictions, servitude to the way my parents treated me, and I was like a puppet on a string.
You probably get a bit more glitter in your beard.
Do me as much as possible.
Do you prefer as Mo or Muhammad?
Throw it all, just get a big bucket and dump it over my head or something. Back then, I thought the world owed me a favor. But I couldn't realize I owed myself a favor. I owed the world a favor by sharing my story.
Oh yeah, you do whatever.
The number one way that we can break down these barriers around toxic masculinity is to show the vulnerability in the men who would probably otherwise be perceived as, very manly. It's not just men and women, it's us together.
Darken my shadow a little bit. Add some depth to it. So I was bullied a lot for being gay. I didn't have knowledge or access to resources that would help me know what I was even dealing with. It was later on in life that I kind of found the excitement in life. I moved to Toronto for a hot minute and learned about drag and brought that back with me. Every now and then, someone will call me faggot on the street, or, And this woman comes over and says, there's so many letters in your acronym, why isn't there an S for straight? And if I'm in drag, I fully have the power to just, call them out on it, and, I have that kind of mask. Somebody said it's the beard that's inside that counts. I mean, I'm gonna kind of be playing with my gender presentation today anyways, because I'm going, beautiful feminine face, and then my natural chest, the padded mermaid tail that has big curvy hips. So it's fun. It's what I love.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
Oh,
Sorry that I'm so late.
You're fired.
That's right now.
You're amazing. No, you look great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yay.
So. Hi everyone, I'm here to sell you books or whatever.
Hips.
I know, I told you that they're big.
Oh my God, it looks so good. Oh my God.
Okay, elbow toward me.
Not every statement of activism has to be a full rant or essay. Getting out of bed, existing, being present, showing, living your life, that is helping make things better.
Put your arm back up. I like that.
There's days where I don't want to get out of bed, but I push myself. I thought when I left policing, helping people was going to be done for me. I'm lucky enough to become a merby.
Okay.
I want her to be proud of me. I want her to be proud of herself. I tell her every day that I love her and I hug her all the time. And I just hope that she's strong, resilient, brave, and that she's not afraid to stand up for what she believes in.
Ever since I was a young kid, I felt like I was without a voice because I was convinced that I was stupid and worthless. I was having a walk in the neighborhood. I realized that it was a really beautiful day. It was warm with a little bit of a breeze. As I was walking, I started to cry. I realized that I lived my life in a room that was so dark. We are not here to curse the darkness, but to light the candle that can guide us through the darkness to a serene. I'm not ashamed to stand here and proudly say that I have a disability, because even though it tries its best, it doesn't control me. It doesn't define me. Without hope, what do we really have?
That idea of the Newfoundlander, that's very like a fisherman, you know, and his two buddies and going out for a beer and hunting moose and all that stuff. But the MerB'ys Calendar is showing a different side of that and saying like, we're not just these gruff old men. We're all kinds of different people and we have fun and yeah, we love the ocean, but we're more than that.
For me, Newfoundland was a choice. I came here and I wanted to love it, and I knew I wanted to make it home. I could live in the most barren place in Newfoundland, but with the mindset of this is my home and I'm going to love this home. I will see the good in it. I will find the good in that. We're 500,000 people spread over this enormous piece of land. We can't change the land. It will remain rocky and inhospitable to life, but the people can grow, the people can change. We are here, we not only survive, but we're thriving here, and we can do better.
There will be some people who are maybe challenged by what they're seeing. But first and foremost, we're all gorgeous.
To be a man, I know how to braid my little girl's hair. To me, that's masculine. Being able to cry, being able to say, I love you. Just being there, and everyone else is not.